Hi, gorgeous. This is episode number 29 with your host, Christine Schlonski. You are listening to Heart Sales Podcast, and today we have another Variety Friday. I am so excited you are here and you are tuning in. And if you have not already, hop on over to christineschlonski.com and check into the Success Library, where I share my free content with you and where you can find the sales journaling prompts that help you to get started in shifting your mindset from a sales mindset to a sales success mindset. Huge difference. And I can promise you, making that shift will make you lots and lots of money, but even more important, it will allow you to serve more people than you ever thought you can be serving. So hop on over to christineschlonski.com and get into the free Success Library to get to all my amazing free content. And I especially recommend the sales journaling prompts. So today I want to come back to the power formula that I have created out of over 15 years in sales. And just the other day, I kind of made a calculation of how many calls I have made over the phone. And it kind of added up to over 80,000 calls. I think that's quite impressive. It was over a longer period of time, obviously over a decade, but still it shows you that by practicing something and by going for it, you will improve in your art and you will get better and better and better. But speaking of making these many calls, I always had to have a pretty strong why. And in the power formula, the W actually stands for the why. And I would like to touch today this important fact that if you don't have a why, you don't really know why you're doing things or what you're doing them for, then having the perseverance, having the strings, following through on things will be super, super difficult. So the question is today, what is your why? And I would love for you to really go deep. I personally love journaling, and I would invite you to just take out your journal, have 20, maybe even 30 minutes, put on a timer, and just write down why you do what you do. For many people, they do it for their kids. They want to be role models. They want to have a certain lifestyle that their business needs to support. And also they want to serve more people. So I personally think that when you step up and you think even bigger than that, you think of like, how could your impact be? How could your influence be, even on people that you might never ever meet in your life, right? So maybe when you think of somebody where you read a book or you listened to a podcast or you found them on the internet and you consumed their free stuff, often it can totally transform your life. So what can you do that your why becomes strong? How do you tune in to your why? Do you do it like each and every day? Do you think of it only once in a while? Well, I have found over the years that the more you tune into your why, into your motivation, into what keeps you up, at night, what are you trying to accomplish? What kind of legacy do you want to leave? That if you really, really connected to that mission, that gives you the strengths. So as entrepreneurs, you know that sometimes, we're going through highs and then we're going through pretty deep lows. because it's always both sides of the coin. And especially in sales, where you probably deal with a lot of rejection, with a lot of no's because people are not ready, people can't afford it, people didn't see the value, whatever it is, like really striving for it, really going for it, and making sure that when things get tough, that when you have this beautiful product and you have this wonderful service, but you are not yet selling enough because you haven't really figured out how that works, one thing is so important, and that's perseverance, that you keep doing it. Obviously, you are a smart person, so if something doesn't work, if you fail with something, you need to tweak, you need to make it better, you need to do your market research so that you are talking to the people in the right voice, that you talk to them, to their listening, to not what you want to hear, but what they can get from that conversation. And a really strong reason why you do what you do is your personal why. So writing it out and having a clear mission that you can just put on your desk, and whenever you just don't feel like it, you just go back and check into your why. What is your why? What are your values? I'm quite sure your values have to do with it. So, for example, one of my biggest values is freedom, and that kind of ties into independence, and it ties into, I want to make the decisions for my life, for my business. I want to create the stuff I want to create because it makes me feel good. So definitely that ties into my why, because I want to help people to create their lives and to create those lives that they love, the lifestyle, the business, the relationships. And I found out that if you have a business and you sell more, you make more money. With more money, you can do more amazing things because money is just energy. So you can exchange your money for freedom, maybe financial freedom, or the freedom to travel wherever you want to travel, or the freedom to give to an organization that you love that supports a good cause, the freedom to book your next coach or to get the next online program that supports your personal growth, right? Money gives you freedom. And the more money you make, this is basically like a measurement of how many people you have supported or how big of a value you have brought to the marketplace. So when you look at people who are super, super successful and they are also fulfilled, so they're not just doing it for the dollar, because some people's whys is a dollar. And I personally believe that this is not deep enough to get the great feeling of fulfillment when you get there. So always having a why that really helps, that supports your values, that makes you feel amazing is what it's really worth striving for. And since I love sales, I highly recommend that you start loving sales as well, because so many people don't. And if you listen to this podcast, there's a pretty big chance that you do feel uncomfortable selling. And once you embrace making a sale, providing value to people, supporting them, helping them in a personal transformation through your product, through your service, the world will change for them. And because you deliver that value, you obviously get something in return, and that's called money. And with that money, you can make your life better. You can make the life of your family better, or your friends, or other people, whatever you decide. You can use that money to create the lifestyle and life and business of your dreams. And once you do that, well, obviously that will be the fulfillment. So combining fulfillment, achievement, together through your business, where you give your gifts to the world, where you do amazing, amazing things, I think that's the ultimate goal, because it will elevate your frequency. And when you elevate your frequency, you will elevate automatically the frequency of other people. So there is a scale. I don't know if you've ever heard of it, but there is a frequency scale, and it goes on the emotional level. Just gonna see. It's an energy scale. So for example, when you vibrate, when your frequency is really low, then you probably feel shame or guilt or fear. And when your frequency is really, really high, that is really positive, that's, for example, love. Love vibrates at 500, and then there's joy at 540, peace 600, and enlightenment 700 plus. And this is a really interesting scale to have a look at, because the higher you are on the scale, you will always influence with your vibration the people around you. And also, when you vibrate higher, you can help them to elevate their frequency. And just imagine if everybody would elevate their frequency, if the whole world would be elevated, what a wonderful world. Like, what could we be achieving? So maybe when you sit down and you're thinking about your why, maybe you want to also think in terms of, where do you want your personal frequency to be at, right? Is it just maybe courage that vibrates at 200, or reason at 400, or anything over 500, which is love? And that's basically when you go into expansion. All the frequencies before that is more or less contraction. So when you vibrate at 500, obviously what we send out, we attract, right? We are tuning into the right frequency. So when you manage to vibrate at a high frequency, then you also attract more beautiful things into your life. And since you already have these beautiful gifts and talents you want to share with the world, I personally believe that it would be so much smarter to do this out of love and joy, and really sharing it in a beautiful way and getting an amount back, like an energy exchange back from your customers, because it just means that you have done so much more, not only for you, but for them. And that's basically what I would love to leave you with for today. And I hope you enjoyed this episode. I'm really curious to know if you have any questions, because if you do, you just need to send an email to info@christineschlonski.com. If you have any comments, I would love to hear them. And Variety Friday is to answer your questions, to support you with my personal knowledge that I have acquired in over 15 years of selling, over 12 of it high-ticket event sales over the phone, cold calling, and obviously about 2 years where I'm running my own business and supporting lots of heart-centered, driven entrepreneurs who are ready to give more of their gifts to the world. So I'm really looking forward to hearing from you. Send me an email, send your questions to info@christineschlonski.com, and I can't wait for you to tune into the next episode. Thank you so much for being here. Have a wonderful day wherever you are in this beautiful world, and I'm wishing you a really high vibe, high frequency time Until we hear next. Bye for now.